What's going on, everybody? You are now tuned in to the Triple M Boxing Channel, your source for all your boxing needs. And man, we got some two handsome dudes in here, and I'm not talking about me and Stefan this time. We got our boys JD and Jhonson. Garzon. Garzon. Come on, man. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man. We're just another day.
Hell yeah, man. And Jay, it's good to see you, man. The last time I saw you, or me and Stefan saw you, was back on Jhonson's fight a few months back.
Calgary.
Yeah. He was in the corner.
He was cornering. Yeah, I remember seeing the Filipino dude. I'm like, that's the guy.
How was that experience? How was that cornering experience? Talk about that.
Oh man, it was crazy because like it's my first ever time cornering a pro fighter, and I was like, in my head, for some reason, I was way more nervous than he was. You know, like, I was holding the pads. I'm like, bro, am I doing this right? I'm just holding pads like I usually hold pads for, you know, when I'm teaching or when I'm helping people warm up, and I'm just like, everything in my head is like turning. I'm like, damn, people get to roll the cameras on us, and I get my first ever time on screen.
That was good, man. No, it was a man for Jhonson. He started off the night very, very well, man. And
yeah, it was a fun one. It was a fun
one. Yeah, for the both of you, man. Talk about that experience. You know, was that your first, JD? Was that your first pro fight that you, well, obviously that you cornered, but have you cornered any like boxing fights before?
I mean, before this one, I got the opportunity of cornering one of my friends who did this like white collar MMA thing.
Okay.
And it didn't really feel like much because it was just one of those things where, you know, it's like a chump to champ series, and there is just, you know, when I got the opportunity to corner for Jhonson, I took it. Like I didn't even know my.
He didn't even know. We just sprung it on him.
Yeah.
That was actually my next question. Why did you wanted to add JD, Jhonson?
Well, you know, JD, he was in the training camp. Me and George, you know, George Habib, he was the main corner. So I was taking all the advice, techniques, and certain things from him. And then for JD, since he was there, he was one of the sparring partners during the camp. He knows how I move. He knows how I cut the ring. He knows what punches I like to throw. So it was a no-brainer. We just throw him in there.
Perfect. That's sick, man. And I'm assuming for the next fight, you're gonna have the same people.
Yeah. Hopefully this time he doesn't get almost disqualified for strong language.
Hold on. You almost got DQ'd for foul language.
Yeah. For some reason, I have this weird thing where I just get DQ'd at certain there's always like I'm always prone to a disqualification of some sort.
This is the disqualification king right here.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You gotta do at least once though, please. Like fourth round, assuming this guy's winning already, fourth round, man. Just, you know,
it's like the first
for the show.
I think
assuming who's winning, Ian?
No, you. So obviously,
no, you, dog. Come on.
I'm like,
oh man,
you know, because here's what I want to say about Ian. You know, he's a good fighter. He's a game fighter, but I don't think he was beating me in any of those exchanges like for like 10 seconds at all. Mm-hmm. You know, like homie got walks from corner to corner. So this rematch, I'll just knock him out 100%.
Love it. Since we're talking about the fight, man. Yeah. Sorry to cut you off, SP. But since we're talking on the fight, how'd you feel you did the first fight?
You know, for a lot of personal reasons I won't get into, that preparation for that fight was bad. It was really bad. It might have been maybe the worst I prepared for a fight. So I was dealing with a lot of personal things. A lot of things were happening around me. And now for this rematch, and this also why I don't know if he'll show up, you know, because I think he knows that was like the worst he's ever gonna find me. So, but we'll see.
What do you for the rematch that's happening hopefully in September? Mm-hmm. What are you gonna do differently? Because man, the first fight, I'll tell you right now, you were like you said, you were walking him down, you were putting him in the corner. You didn't really have nothing to answer back. Like, what are you gonna do differently this time?
He was tough enough, and you have to remember, guys, I'm going up a weight class to fight this guy. You know, so he's just has enough survivability, enough defensive sense that he knows how to survive, but that's not winning. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
getting beaten in a corner and then running to the next corner and getting beaten again until the round ends is not outboxing the other fighter. You know, so
I agree.
I mean, what I will do differently is I'm just gonna just come sharper, and then the punches that I should have knocked him out with. You know.
Man, I mean to give Ian his a little bit of credit. He was game. He was able to throw his counters just a little bit, but not to say. And I do agree with your take. It's not. It wasn't enough.
Yeah,
It
that's
wasn't
the
enough
thing.
to actually win a round.
Another thing is like with the Steve and Teofimo fight.
Yeah.
Steve is a guy that deserves his credit. Ian, he's a tough fighter. He's a good fighter, but that's about where it goes. You know what I mean?
I mean, being tough and being good doesn't mean you won.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. No, but I mean, I would love to.
You gotta be able to string punches together. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? 3 or 4 punches. You gotta win whole exchanges for you to say you were in there. Really.
Let me ask you this though, because you're the one. Obviously, you were the smaller guy. During the fight night, how did his punches feel? Fighting a bigger guy.
Light. Homie hits on the level of a kickboxer. If I'm being real.
Damn.
What does that feel like? Is that like do kickboxers don't punch that hard or?
Oh,
Nah, they can't.
light, bro. All arm punches, brother. The kickboxing can hurt you with the legs because they got those like fucking crazy thick feet trunk legs. But the arm punches, you know what I mean? It's like a boxer that really hits. It feels like a different animal.
I can see that, yeah, because like with kickboxing, you're not really putting your whole body into the punches. You're basically using the punches to set up the big kicks, basically.
Yeah, and you can't turn over on your punches. You'd be like showing your back. You get kicked. Yeah.
That's true. That's kind of crazy to think, man. I for Ian, because I remember on the weigh-in day, bro, we were all just like looking at our clocks.
I should have left. I don't even lie. We should have left.
Bro, that's
all of us.
Dude, man, this guy Ian had to get naked. He had to do a crazy workout before the weigh-in.
Quick workout, bro.
Man, I want to go home. Gee, like what the hell, bro?
Like weight classes above him too.
Fuck, man.
Crazy.
I even told the commission, just don't. Why you force this guy to come down here and not cut all this weight? I'm fine with it. Let the fight go on.
Yeah.
Why are we making this man run sprints naked up and down in the brewery?
Yeah.
But the commission's literally word for word, this is what they said. He made us wait, so now we're gonna make him suffer.
Oh,
That's fair.
I mean,
it's
petty, but I mean, the same people that say they love the boxer, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. But with all respect to Ian, man, like he did it though. I was shocked. I didn't think he was gonna get down to the exact weight. But when he stepped on the scale the last time and they said, yeah, he's good to fight, I'm like, damn, good on him. But what I was getting, go ahead.
His underwear was holding him back. It was too heavy.
God.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, man.
I thought
Correction. He was still a pound over.
He might have gone to the bathroom and done that.
Yeah.
Right, but I was still shocked because like with just losing that much weight, probably like what was that, like a good 2-3 pounds, you'd expect for him to have a little bit of power. You going up the weight class, right? You expect to have a little bit more, but hey, I guess not. Right?
Actually, the Venezuelan guy that I fought in Colombia, I think his name was Miguel. He punched harder than Ian, for sure, and he was a smaller guy. He was just more explosive. Yeah.
Shots fired. I love it though. I'm excited to see this happen, man. September 21st. I hope he accepts that rematch because if everything that you said today, if you show up on that fight with the proper training camp, it's going to be even more fireworks. We're talking like July 4th kind of deal,
July 4th, Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo. That's the one, man. But I like it, man. I'm pumped. I want to touch on Jay a little bit here. Jay, are you planning on fighting too?
Yeah, I'm planning on fighting. I actually have a jiu-jitsu tournament coming up this Saturday. It's on a peak grappling card. It's going to be at at the hotel. Then after that, I'm looking towards either getting a smoker for MMA going, or I'm going to get a kickboxing match.
Nice. What was your main discipline? Was it jiu-jitsu, boxing, kickboxing?
I started off as a wrestler in high school. Then from there, it was like I wanted to go straight into college wrestling, but then I broke my hand. So during that time, I was like in this weird spot where I either had the choice of waiting it out and maybe sticking with a club that could get me into a college, or I just thought of MMA because I always used to watch UFC and all those other guys. I used to be casual, so I just saw it and I was like, you know what, maybe join an MMA gym. Here I am.
Love it, dude. Why wrestling? You're like I'm not gonna lie, man. Like in BC, all the Filipinos is either basketball or you might venture into boxing. Why wrestling?
Well, that's the thing. I used to have hoop dreams as like every other Filipino teenager out there. Then I realized I got cut short at 5'4", so I had no choice but to find a different sport. And I saw the wrestling mats, and I was like, I'm gonna give this a crack, right? And you know, it was the best decision I made that day. Well, it was the worst decision at the time because I was getting my head stuffed in the mats. But there, it was just like as time passed, I started noticing I got better. Started noticing that I was, you know, carrying myself with a different type of confidence, and from there, it spiraled.
That's true, man. Because the thing with like wrestling is like, if you do it on the streets, yeah, you'll take them down. You won't get in trouble, somewhat, unless you slam them on the head. That's a whole different story, right? But
the death charge right there. Kill the guy, man.
That's a
no, that's true. No, that's true, man. Now, let's talk a little bit about boxing here, man. I want to touch on two things. Number one, the Teofimo and Claggett fight. I want to hear your take on this. Your guys' take on how the fight went, because we've spoken about it. I want to hear what someone that sees Steve on a regular basis. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this.
The top rank announcers.
Yeah,
man.
They were disrespectful, man. They were mad disrespectful. I thought Steve won the first 3 rounds. I thought it was kind of hard to argue that. Like Teofimo hadn't found his range yet. He hadn't found his punches yet. I think round 1 through 3, the commentators, or not the unofficial scorecard, whatever that is.
The commentators and the unofficial.
They gave Steve the last round, which I felt was just kind of like, we can't make it a wash. We can't give it all 12 to Teofimo. But I thought that was, I thought the first 3 and the last round, I thought Steve held his own really well. Teofimo was a special fighter. And sometimes there's just special guys.
Top rank needs to, pop off of Teofimo. Do you think so?
Because they would do better promoting Teofimo by giving Steve credit. Like, so all the people on the internet that said, "Oh, Steve doesn't deserve to be there," this and that, they go on the website and they look, "Oh, see, he lost every single round." They didn't even watch the fight.
Yeah,
they didn't even bother to watch the thing. They just see the scorecard and be like, "See."
And what's even crazier is like the fights during the weekend with Medueno versus Keyshawn Davis.
Yeah.
Former opponent of Steve.
Yeah, and Steve beat Medueno like hard.
Like, he put the beats on Medueno.
Out Mexican the Mexican, bro.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. He landed one of the most punches the whole fight, right? When he fought Medueno, it was like 500 something.
One step back. I
don't even know how that guy still, I don't know how Medueno's still alive after taking 500 something punches in the fight, man. That's Steve.
It's fighting, man. It's fighting.
I say this though, man. Teofimo was fighting his back for the whole fight, literally from rounds 1 to 12. And I agree with you, Jhonson. I thought Steve won the first few rounds. It was a great performance. I think CompuBox was so biased.
Off, man.
They got landing 57 punches the whole fight, and then you look at Teo's face; it's totally different. I don't know Teo won.
I think Steve should be very proud of himself to have done that to the world champ. I'd be happy with that performance.
And I'm pretty sure Steve is also in line to fight Alberto Cuello or whatever. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but
Cuello.
He's the WBC champ now, so I think they're pretty much in line to fight.
I thought that performance will actually give him more fights. It's not like he was knocked out the first round. You know, he showed that he can throw a lot of punches. I think Steve's style is going to be a nightmare to a lot of fighters. It was a nightmare for Teo for a bit. You know what I mean? Like, if you have an off day and you have Steve, then he can easily take your belt. So I think that just open up more fights. Maybe not as big as a world championship, but he doesn't go back to square one. You know what I mean? Like he gets another fight. Maybe if he beats that guy, then he gets another world title.
I think fighting should be, if you're at the end of your career, you should be getting offered to fight for the titles. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see Steve get a couple more tries at the world title. You know?
Yeah.
Because he works so hard and he do so much, and like when he was on this winning streak to get this Teo fight, like he's fighting guys that are like world beaters for no money. You know what I mean?
From
Like,
Madueño to Machado.
so I mean, why not? Like, I think Steve beats Rolly. You know, I think he beats Ryan Garcia. I think he beats Devin Haney. Why not?
I think that if he fights Rolly, I'm pretty sure that's going to spiral him into a world championship.
Dude.
Oh, big.
I just want someone to trash talk Steve like Rolly.
What was that, Stefan?
I just want someone to trash talk Steve like Rolly, man.
You can't. You
He
can't.
can't.
No, dude, I just want Rolly to talk to you. That's it.
All Steve wants to do is work hard. You can't.
Yeah.
Like every time we talk to Steve, like it's always like the same convo. Like he's always so motivated. I don't even know what it is. Like I don't think anyone can trash talk him, really.
No.
Bro, he's dialed in. I'll give him that. And you're right. Every time you see Steve, like he has a vision, and it's like so engraved in his mind that nothing will take him off track.
Yeah, and
that's where a lot of people should be.
Close to 500K though, so I mean, you know, that's pretty good for a night's work. You know,
absolutely.
All the internet people saying what they want to say, but you know,
he can fight tomorrow.
Yeah,
he didn't take much damage, no.
Well, he took some probably.
I mean, he had a black eyes on his face and stuff, and bruises, but like
that's part of the game.
Teofimo looked like he ran through a brick wall face first.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, look at Teos.
Right, nothing major, man. Now, the fights that happened over last week. Do you guys see it? There was Keyshawn. Keyshawn fought. Shakur fought last week.
Oh, Shaki.
Yeah. I watched a lot of them. Like, I think I watched the whole top rank card, and I watched Curmel's fourth fight too.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna catch them. I gotta catch them.
I'm gonna start off. Curmel, man.
Go ahead.
Only 18, and like.
He fought a grown man. He's like almost had 20 years on him, no?
Yeah, no, the guy was like
6 or something.
Age, and he was. I'm pretty sure he was like, he had like 20 plus fights or something.
Yeah.
Man, it was a one-sided beating. You know?
Man, I think Foy's gonna do a good job on that little man. I think, obviously he's early in his career, but if done right, I think he's gonna be one of the top prospects. And you
can just tell by the way Curmel throws punches, the discipline.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He was throwing the stuff that you see people throw on the heavy bag, and he was doing it while the guy couldn't even hit him back.
Yeah, that's composure and balance and just training. You know what I mean?
With Keyshawn, though.
Keyshawn's fight, my honest opinion is, like, Keyshawn was running his mouth talking about how he was going to stop Madueño and do what Steve couldn't do, and he was talking about how why should Steve get a title shot if he couldn't even finish Madueño? But he ended up not even being able to finish Madueño either. You know, it was a dominant performance, but Steve kind of showed the dominance.
So that's the thing. Everybody, they see a guy get hit in one fight, and then it's like something in the male ego that goes like, oh, if I had that guy that hurt, I'd knock him out. I could knock him out. No, that's not how that works. But like hurting a guy and putting him away are two entirely different things. You know what I mean? Two entirely different things. But yeah, Keyshawn Davis is okay. I think Steve beats Keyshawn Davis too. Because unless you're Teofimo's got great eyes, great perspective. If you miss those uppercuts, Steve's on your ass all night.
Yep.
You know?
Okay, let me ask you this. Well, Marvin doesn't think Shaki was a robbery. I thought it was. What do you guys think?
I didn't watch it.
From what I've seen, the only like it was a very, very like it was a textbook boxing match, you know, in the sense that Oshaki was staying on the outside, landing more effectively, this and that. But what made the judging sway was when they had that accidental headbutt, and both
Yeah.
Oshaki and Kansei were cut, you know. So maybe that played a factor. I don't know, but to be honest, I think it kind of would have swung more towards Oshaki because it was definitely being more effective. But I don't know. It was kind of lackluster.
I agree. I thought it was textbook boxing. I mean, fight for Oshaki. I thought he boxed well. But the only thing is with him is he never throws enough volume. Not to say he didn't win the fight. I actually thought he won. It's just I think they're penalizing him for not throwing enough volume, even though he did enough to win a round. You know what I mean? But so yeah, shot.
Oshaki was like supposed to be the guy at 126, and as he was moving up to 130, people were counting on him to show that he could dominate the next division. But so much for that.
Yeah, I'd say just I mean, for Kansei Sao, man, good for him because it's he's a world title now. He's a world title holder. I think they just should just do a rematch and see what happens. But Marv, man, you thought it wasn't a robbery. Why not?
Man, I was 50-50 on the fight when I rewatched it yesterday. But after rewatching it, man, here's what I have to say. I'll take a step back. Here's what I will have to say. It's weird how a lot of these fights are judged. Some fights are based off of aggression, right? Some fights are based off of volume. Some fights are based off of the effective punches landed. It's like, where's the uniformity, right? Yeah. It's either all three, or it's either 2 out of 3, or it's all 3. Like, which one is it, right? So that's what I do want to say. Like, if the judges are based off of come forward fighting, okay, yeah, sure, he won, whatever. If it's based off of punches landed, all right, other homie won,
Yeah.
But that's what I do want to say. It's just like it's just weird how some fights are based off of one stat, another is based off of pressure. There needs to be some sort of uniformity, in my opinion. You guys agree with that?
100%.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's hard to enforce that. You know what I mean? Because it all comes to the judges. The whole arena can have their opinion, but the opinion that matters is of the judges. So whatever the judges that day, whatever their whim is, basically.
Whatever they had for breakfast too, I don't know. It must be something to coffee.
Hold on.
Wait. Shakur Stevenson versus his promoter, Artem. I'm just kidding, Artem. he looked like his promoter, But what do you guys think? What do you think of that fight, Jay?
I thought he was fighting the guy that I bumped into at the Shisha Lounge like 3 weeks ago.
Come on, man.
What's that mean? You're supposed to be competing, bro. You can't self-snitch on yourself like this.
Oh yeah, it's true. You got a competition this Saturday.
No, that was years ago. That
was a while ago. That was
years ago, bro.
Everywhere I go, like whether I'm at a bar, lounge, or something, like while everybody is drinking, I just got my trusty bottle. Well, I don't bring this. I usually drink water. I can't drink.
Hey, that's facts. That's facts. But yeah, what do you think, man? What do you think of that fight?
I'm not gonna lie. Like the first 3 rounds, I thought Shakur was gonna take the tank approach, where he was gonna give away some rounds and start figuring his guy out and piece him up like round per round. But then it was just like he started throwing a lot of the same stuff, and Tank was right. Like Shakur doesn't really have the defense that people market. It's just a matter that he likes to step back away from everything, and he has like the same, offensive and defensive patterns. And that fight that he had with Partunian proved it.
You think that's just how he fights, or you think that's something that he? Do you think he should change his style to be able to sell tickets, or
if he changed the style, it would surprise his opponent too,
For sure.
because no one's expecting to having to take that many steps back
Yeah.
on Shakur. You know, like if I'm looking to fight a guy like that, I'm expecting to run at him all night, all. But maybe if he comes to you, you know, maybe he would get the knockout.
How
The
do
crazy
you,
part is,
Jhonson? You have Shakur in front of you. How do you beat him?
The stand switch, 100%. I make him take a step back. He's either gonna go to my right or my left. If he goes to the right, step over, bang, right hook. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you'd have to be like quite a bit faster than him. You have to be fast because he
It's
does
true.
that check hook, right? So he steps back and then he checks hook. So you got like half a second, bro.
Yeah.
Half a second.
It's hard, man. For Shakur, I mean, I get both sides. He doesn't have the hunger to knock someone out. It's like
No, and actually, I kind of like that about him. His most troll aspect is kind of what I like about him because he basically said, "I got the IG, I got the titles. Come take him. Just come take him. Yeah, just come take him. You know what I mean? It's not looking pretty, but he's not getting punched. You know, it's good.
Yeah. And
He's winning.
I would keep
Yeah.
saying this. I mean, I think he's still the most skillful 135, 140 pounder. It's just because he
Over
doesn't have that
Jhonson?
skillful.
Over. I'll argue with that. I'll argue with that all.
Man. Skills.
Tank over
In terms of
everybody.
skills.
I got Tank over everybody.
Tank over
The way he moves his feet, sometimes he fights with his hands up, sometimes
Yeah.
he's just doing this,
Sometimes he walks you down.
and he's not taking hits in between. Like his jab is good, his uppercut is good, his body shot is good.
And the crazy part about Tank is like that's not even like all of what he has. Like he's
Yeah.
only giving us bits and pieces.
And he was
That's
just
for
in
sure.
jail. He was just in jail, not even long
That's
ago.
true.
He might be
Homie
training
eating
in jail.
cafeteria food and doing push-ups.
My man came out of house like
What? And Shakur's got like 3 psychologists, 3 nutritionists. Come on,
I
man.
still want to see that fight happen though.
Yeah, I want to.
I
That's
still
the fight I
wanna see that
really
fight
want to see.
Because
Yeah.
either Tank
I
will
wish
knock him
Shakur
out,
was
or
the
if
for that.
Shakur is as skillful as Tank or more, then it's gonna be another boring fight.
Yeah.
I wish
Yeah, but
Shakur
we'll see.
was taking that same approach that he took against Valdez. Sorry to interrupt, but like
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
that was a
when
great
he-
fight.
Valdez, he boxed beautifully, like
Yeah,
all his IQ showed and everything. Then I don't know what happened.
I think if every time he fights a strong puncher, he tends to be more safe rather than actually putting on a show, and that's what it showed
Yeah.
against Dos Santos. But I want to see him fight Tank. Number one, he can't keep doing that to Tank because Tank will walk you down. But if that Shakur that fought Valdez shows up, I think that'll be a great fight. That'll be a great.
And Tank does that leaping right hook. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's
Both-
like he
both
knows
southpaws, too.
timing for that leap. Like he doesn't just run into the jab when he leaps. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, we gotta see it.
Yeah, I wanna see
One day. I hope that happens, man. But so y'all think Tank's the top at the top at 140,
135. 135. Yeah.
135. I think so. You think if there's a rematch, if Pitbull ever goes back down, do you think?
Oh,
Do
bro.
you think?
Even worse this
Do
time.
not
I
around.
hope Pitbull can make it.
Even worse this time.
Pitbull can make it. Pitbull would not even shouldn't even be on.
No, Pitbull will make it. Pitbull will
fought
make
too.
it. But if Pitbull was like my uncle, I would tell him, "Don't do it, bro."
No, like I hope he
This
can.
guy Javon's on different timing. Like he's different.
I don't know if he can make 135 anymore. He's looking a little chubby.
Yeah,
big.
he's probably gonna stay at 140, but Pitbull. That's another
much.
fight good for Steve, man. Pitbull and Steve will be good. That
would be
another
exciting.
topic fight. That would be
And I
exciting.
think beats Pitbull because he's a lot bigger than Pitbull.
I
A
know.
lot.
Mm.
5'2", bro. I don't need Pitbull shouldn't even be there again, but
No,
that'll
no,
be a fan friendly fight for sure.
absolutely.
100%. Right. I love this stuff. But boys, it's been great shooting the shit with you guys, talking about boxing.
Thank you so much, fam.
Next time I'm out in Calgary, we got to do this in person because
Absolutely.
I like doing these in person with you guys, especially you, the Don. Man, you kill me, bro. I love you, man. It's some good shit. So
That's good, brother. I appreciate you guys.
we'll catch up again soon. And until next time, guys, we are the opposite of in, which is out.